Where does it start? What were you lads doing before?
I was a scrap metal mood.
Because I had a business as well.
What were you doing?
I was a hooker.
People are following you around, filling out stadiums.
Like, how did you stay relevant for 10 years?
We just got to keep reinventing and rethinking what you do. You can't do the same thing forever. You can do a version of the same thing, but it has to keep evolving.
So do we want to stay relevant or do we want to create a legacy? We want to create a legacy. So any move that we make has to be towards a legacy. How do you create a legacy?
Well, I mean, look, I'm very good. I don't know about them.
Boys, it would be remiss of us not to unpack the ethnic dad, whose idea it was.
There was a video. I can't remember what video.
I remember what video it was, but I can't remember.
No credit. This is going to be a good one.
Welcome to the Little Fish Podcast, bringing you extraordinary stories to inspire big moves. If you're planning a knockdown rebuild, dual occupancy, or townhouse project, don't risk getting it wrong. At Little Fish, we manage the entire process. We get it done faster, cheaper, and stress-free. Scan the QR code or visit littlefishproperty.com.au. Links in the description. Let's get into it.
Welcome back to Australia's #1 podcast. We are the Little Fish, and we speak to the big fish about town each and every week. Please, guys, like, share, subscribe. Talk about big guests, Benny. We've got some crackers today.
This is going to be a good one.
The Sooshi Mango boys. Joe, Carlo, and Andrew. Boys, thanks for coming in.
Hey.
Number one podcast.
Wait.
Behind who?
Break that down. Is that just like my uncle saying, I got to the number one street on all, number one house on all the street? I got to. The,
Are you?
Is that
Something like
Yeah.
that. That's about right.
It's a bullshit statement, is it?
I think we're number one something. Number one podcast in this building.
There you go. Awesome.
That's
Congrats on being number one, by the way.
No,
Thank you.
seriously, awesome, boys. Kudos to you.
Yeah, well
Is it kudos or kudos?
Kudos.
I think it's the same.
Oh, kudos?
No, kudos.
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 Anyway, it's fucking great. Oh, can we swear on here?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah, get fucked then.
There goes your demonetization.
Yeah, it's gone.
Sponsors won't be happy if we had any. Boys, thanks so much for coming in. We're already laughing. We're laughing before the pod. Speaking of number ones and going virals and all that sort of stuff, like your stuff, you've nearly been doing it for 10 years. You're still there. You're still cracking jokes. People are following you around, filling out stadiums. What's going on?
How the fuck have you done it? That's what we want to know. Like, how did you stay relevant for 10 years?
Well,
and be more relevant now than you were 10 years ago?
I mean, look, I could talk. I'm very good. I don't know about them, but no, I don't know. Look, what is it? We just constantly. You know what I think it is. We don't realize if it's big or if we're big or not. We just think we're the same, and we're going to keep pushing and keep getting better and keep growing. So I think that's what it is. Like the arenas and everything that we've done is amazing, and we're so grateful for it. But it's like we just want to do more, and we still don't think we've reached a high yet,
So is it sort of you're not resting on your laurels? You're not assuming that you can stay in the same spot. Like it's authentic. You don't drink the own bathwater. You just got to keep grinding it out.
It feels like day one. It does. It doesn't
does.
feel like it doesn't feel like we've done. Well, even though we've done some stuff or whatever, just we've always got bigger dreams. So it feels like the first day, and there's more and more people coming to the brand daily and weekly. There's new people following us and finding out about us, and there's new markets and there's international markets. So it just feels like, I don't know. It just feels like it's
always
fresh.
new something.
Yeah, it's also the fact that... Sorry, Joe.
No, fuck Joe. You go.
Fuck Joe.
Everything has to go in three. So
I just wanted to say, like, to accompany what Carlo's saying, it still feels fresh for us. We're still enjoying it. So it's not stale. Once something becomes stale, then you get disinterested and like whatever. So we're still having fun.
So you're not forcing yourselves to do it.
Yeah.
Nah, definitely
Plus,
not.
congratulations, coming back to the number one thing. Although you're the number one, why do you have the heaviest fucking microphone in the world, man?
I can see we're getting a bit of pump out of that bicep.
You look like you can handle it.
I'm holding the arm that's holding the microphone underneath here.
Hey, Carlo, you said something really interesting then when you were referring to you guys as the group. You referred to it as the brand, right?
Yes.
At what point do you think that became something that you guys were looking at it as a brand? Because I'd imagine I've probably jumped a few steps forward, but when you started, you're messing around and you're doing some stuff. At what point did you realise that brand was important?
It was about Thursday, 2:00.
No, look, I think it's pretty early on. Like we always had an inkling that it needed to be, because we were originally the four of us, and now we're three. The fourth guy sort of left and done his own thing or whatever. But I don't know. I felt like we're a trio. It felt very Marx Brothers and Laurel and Hardy-ish, and so it was pretty early on that we figured out that, hey, this needs to be sort of a bit of a formula. But I think when we discovered the ethnic dads, Johnny, Vince and Sam, the characters, we were like, oh, there's something in there. There's something that they represent. There's something that they stand for. I think that was when we created those characters was the clear turning point for us. Like, okay, we've got a very identifiable brand here that people, that people tap into for nostalgia and laughs, and for us being a trio. So we sort of really leaned into it then, and that was around about 2017. 2017 was sort of.
And how does it become Sooshi Mango then as the brand? So as the brand name, I suppose.
The name.
Well, the name came from my son. Like, that's how it all started. I mean, back when we started the page, he was on the dunny. He was 3 years old, snapping one off, saying Sooshi Mango.
So is it something you just eaten recently?
He must have just eaten sushi and mango and was saying, seriously, he was saying Sooshi Mango. And I went, that's interesting. But those two words together sounds really interesting.
Magic.
And then a couple of days later, same thing was happening. So first of all, we've got to close the door when my son's taking a shit. But secondly, Carla was there and he was saying Sooshi Mango, and we're like, what's this? And he's like, what should we call this thing? What should we call this thing?
So sort of, yeah.
And then he was saying Sooshi Mango, and I was saying, be quiet, Sooshi Mango, be quiet, blah, blah, blah. And then we said, what about Sooshi Mango? And that's how it happened.
Yeah, it's important.
So it's quite bizarre how little things have always happened on the journey as well, that you sort of go, shit, it's sorry to start to get fucking...
It's like fate almost.
Spiritual.
Yeah, no, I'm with you.
But, you start to go, oh shit, why did that happen? And why did it happen? And why this happened? So it's interesting how steps sort of come into play. You know what I mean?
It's important to remember that at the beginning, it wasn't ethnic humour. It was just humour. So it kind of made better sense. Sushi Mango at the time was just a funny comedy.
Bit of a laugh,
name. And then it became ethnic humour, and now it's gone back to sort of just humour again. So it's done a whole full circle, kind of back to although it's based in ethnic roots, the comedy now has become more than that. It's just they're funny characters, and everyone's resonated with them. So it's just interesting how how that all
come around. And it's weird. And from what we were saying before about, I don't know, we've done, we share a record now with Jerry Seinfeld and Rod Laver, for example.
You ever heard of him?
Mind-blowing, yeah.
I just heard about him the other week.
Yeah, he's a new guy. He's just come on the scene.
Young comedian or something.
Did
you just say that out loud? Like, that's fucking wild,
well, that's the
man.
thing. So these are all like, and I know I said before about how we want to keep growing, whatever. But we freak, like, seriously, it's a pinch yourself moment for us all the time. Especially when we're doing the show.
Standing on stage.
Yeah,
boys,
that's
like,
just
what?
fucking out of control. It's like, what the fuck am I doing here? How am I here? It's bizarre. I got to meet Seinfeld. He wanted to meet us. He followed us on Instagram, and he wanted to meet us. The boys were in fucking Bali. So I went on my own. Fuck
that was a big fucking mistake.
You know, in Instagram now, like if someone who's got the blue tick or that's a big account likes one of your posts, it goes to the top. And I've seen him like a couple of our posts. I'm screenshotting it. I'm sending it to him. Oh my God, he likes us. He likes our stuff.
So we're still kids,
We're still fans.
We're still fangirl with that shit, right?
Well, is it, there must be a few others as well. That can't be the only one with you boys.
No,
who else do you reckon sort of reached out
Tommy
to
Lee.
Project? Tommy Lee.
Yeah, Tommy Lee's a fan.
Yeah,
there's what's her name?
Nia.
Nia Vardalos from My Big Fat Greek Wedding.
Oh, yeah.
Well, and we also heard
Russell
that Nia told us that she shared one of our videos to Tom Hanks and John Stamos
and Rita Wilson.
And Rita Wilson.
Because she's
Rita was
Greek.
half Greek, yeah.
So she's Greek and she gets all the stuff and so
now they apparently they all walk around saying it's tzatziki, you know, because of that. You know.
My fucking son does it.
It's that stuff there which sort of just you never know who's watching you, and we're still fangirls. I mean, we've been lucky enough to meet a couple of people that come down. I don't think sound like a fucking wanker.
Just say it, man.
Not
You can't go that far.
because we met, we've met like
Donald Trump. We met Donald Trump. No,
we met Chappelle, Kevin Hart, Russell Peters, Joe Coy, Gabriel Iglesias, and like they've invited us in because we've done these things. And again, for me, I'm probably the biggest fangirl out of the boys. Unless Carlo meets Rocky, then he'll cry and probably jerk off in the corner. Yeah,
that's 100%. Yeah. But Russell Peters said something interesting to us. He said, Russell Peters, the comedian guy. He said, he goes, don't stop being a fan.
That's right.
Yeah.
And he goes, if the minute you stop being a fan and pit yourself like
up here.
Whatever, that can change your whole mindset and your drive and forget where you come from type of thing. And that's the thing with us. Like we're still fans of comedy
because it keeps you authentic. Because you're
it
part of
keeps
it. You're not sitting on the
grounded a bit.
outside trying to infiltrate it. You're kind of inside and part of it.
With so boys, I'm super intrigued. Where does something like this start? This is a big juggernaut, big beast, filling out stadiums. People at home are going, all right, so I can put something on social media.
Ground zero. Yeah, where was ground zero?
Where does it start? And what were you lads doing before this sort of
guess. Should we guess what they were doing before they started?
I
reckon we should have a fucking guess.
Yeah, have a guess.
All right.
Pouring coffees or fucking making pizza.
That's racist, brother. That's racist. Shit, man.
Wait.
It's ethnic humour, all right?
The funny thing is, we sell pizzas now, by the way.
Oh, yeah, of course.
It's full circle.
Or fish or chips. Tips.
No, the fruit shop.
Tips.
You would have been at Scully Brothers or something. Behind
It was in...
I was a scrap metal merchant, so I used to export metal. I had my own business prior to this, which I just sold midway through last year, actually.
Well, so you kept
I
going
stepped
for all
out of it
those
for about
years.
3 years because I'm concentrating on this, but it was getting too difficult to manage both, and he still actually owns it.
So you're a steel guy during the day, big tough guy, and then you dress
Dress like a woman, yeah. I say a joke now. What's it like dressing? What's it like being on stage in a dress now? And I say, well, I used to load containers with a dress on anyway, so there's no difference to me now.
That's true. That's actually what happened. 'Cause I had a business as well. I still got it. Still part owner of this business, but stepped out and made an arrangement with my business partner. They were a silent partner, but it was a case of literally juggling this life where it was like, you're being a clown on stage, and then you come back Monday and you're trying to be this like stern CEO and be like, yeah, so everyone take me seriously. I didn't wear a dress on the weekend on stage, and
that wasn't me.
It wasn't me. It was, and people were like recognizing me in meetings, or like they'd be looking at me like this, going, I saw your show on the weekend. So it started to get a bit much, so we had to, sort of keep it out.
Pick a side, like a kid, sort of got to pick a sport.
Pretty much.
What were you doing?
I was a hooker.
High paid. We had the highest paid in Australia
hooker.
on the show once. Shout out Samantha Rex.
Failed hooker, by the way. Wasn't doing very well.
Not much business. So the first
Very harsh what I said. Sorry, bro.
First bit of I reckon you'd be great.
Thank you.
First bit of content. Where does it come from? What's going on?
So the very first thing that happened was one day I did a video on socials, and I just put on Facebook, and it was annoying friends in cars video. It was a thank you wave. I didn't get a thank you wave, and I just put this rant out on Facebook. And
So you just felt motivated.
friends
I
and
just
family,
went,
like
I went fucking. I did this rant, and I just put it out in the world, yeah. And then all of a sudden, people was talking to me about this thing, and I was like, "That's interesting." And then after a while, I said to my brother, because I was working with him at the time, and in his business, because I was in between jobs, between hookering, and I was a salesperson, by the way. But
During the week, you had plenty of time.
And I said, Carl, let's get together. Let's do this video, in the car. And then he's got a good eye in editing and tweaking and doing things like that, So one day, guys, seriously, we just went to his house. We got a camera. We had Michael, who was one of the previous members.
He was living with me and my business partner at the time.
That's right.
Yeah, right.
And we literally just got the phone with blue tack and put it on the dash and just drove around.
Blue tack on the dash. That's
dash.
epic.
Drove around and laughed and had a good time. And we just said to Michael, just sit in the back and be that dumb friend that everyone's got,
Yeah.
And that was it. And then we edited it up, we put it out, and we got a little bit of love on it. And then we did a few more of those. And then Andrew has been a friend of ours for 30 years, family friend. And then we went to school together. And we were in the same year, same class, and we were best mates at school. And Carlo's like 3 years younger than us. So Ange basically chimed in and said, this is some funny shit. And then he messaged Carlo.
Yeah. He messaged me saying, this is some funny shit. I'd love to, I'd love to get involved. Just a throwaway comment, right? And I remembered the days when I was like 9 or 8, and they were they were 13, and I was 9, 10 years old.
Yeah. No
so
shit.
they do these tape recording. Remember back in the day, you used to be able to tape and they used to do these voice recordings, like these stupid ads and this, that, and I'd be pissing myself in the corner, like dying laughing. So I remember those days. I'm like, man, come in. Like he when I was a kid, he was one of the funniest guys I could have imagined. He's really shit now. But
I was waiting
What's
for
happened?
it. I was waiting for it. I was waiting for it.
That's what, I put it up and I went,
these are staple jokes that we all
approved.
All approved. But no, he messaged and I said, man, 100%. I sent a message to my brother. I said, Andrew wants to get involved.
Let's
Let's
You're
do a
not
video
thinking business
together.
at this point. You're just having fun.
No,
yeah?
we're having
Or
fun.
were you thinking
No,
we'd get some
okay, so
views
this is
or
what
anything like that?
This is what happened. This is what happened when we got together. We started doing these videos. We were having a ball. All right, we were going to his factory at the time and filming there, and we would laugh so much that we put the bloopers at the end of the videos. Right, and people were loving the bloopers more than they were loving the actual video. And we used to laugh, and then we did a Vox Pop thing for the Lygon Street Festa. And I was saying to my brother and Carlo, and I said, we thought we reckon we could, maybe go around and go to other festas and film some stuff, and they might give us $1,000.
Or people will book us for events, we could get on stage and do our own show. Because in the comments in the videos, we started seeing you guys are going to do a show, and we're like, do a show? What's a show? Yeah, okay. Well, let's. How do you do that? How do we put that stuff together?
This is what we're about to find out, hopefully.
Yeah. But
I remember saying to him, "You're fucking mad. Who's got to get four?" It was 4 of us at the time.
Yeah.
Who's going to pay for 4 dumb wogs? Just
to do a show.
Boy, did I eat my words.
We gave him that for at least 5 years. Because every time we did Rod Laver, no one this.
Well, can you break that down then, right? Because so, like you said, you're blowing your own selves away with the show. So how do you go from online and bridge that gap, right? You're saying you're making these videos all the way back then.
It's a long story.
We have to give kudos to.
Did someone approach you?
We got a phone call. I got a message from Nick Giannopoulos.
Oh yeah, of course.
The Wog boy,
the original.
The original
the
Wog
OG.
boy, the OG, and he sent me a message and he said, let's catch up for a coffee. So at that point, me and the guys had done a bunch of videos. We've done the Greeks versus Italians part 1 to 3, like The Godfather, 3 parts.
Yeah.
And then we done a couple other videos, and then the Ethnic Dads were born, and then so he sent me a message and he said, let's catch up for a coffee.
Stop it. So prior to that, we had started writing down ideas for skits that we were going to do in a show. So we had show in mind. We're like, okay, we're going to do our own show. And then we get this message.
And thank God that happened, because it would have been shit.
Yeah,
It's kind of manifested. So you kind of like where preparation met like opportunity almost.
100%. That's exactly what happened.
Because we didn't have no
we
stage
had
manager, no
idea.
lighting. We don't know.
We didn't know how to do it. We just thought you'd turn up with a microphone and just.
And Nick's a seasoned veteran. He's the OG. He's the guy that started the wog humor on stage and turned it into like it's a proper production. Like there's shows out there, and to different levels, but Nick showed us systematically how to put together a great show, skit, song, how to get the audience energy going, up a level, how to deliver a punchline, how to wait to make them laugh, how to project, how to look at everyone in the audience, how to stand, how not to mask.
That's fucking lot, man.
And he taught us, it was literally on the job sort of experience as we went along. So we were just soaking all.
Was that because you guys didn't start running around doing little shows, right? Like by the time
we went straight into 1,000
That's what I mean.
seats.
By the time you
Straight
guys
up
sort of
this
just
time.
went bang, and you're on fucking Rod Laver Arena, man.
When Nick when I sat down with Nick, so I went on my own, and
Boys fucking in Bali again.
he was in Bali again.
Yeah.
No, well the boys were still in their businesses, So,
of course, yeah.
so I stepped out of whatever job that I was doing. I stepped out early, and I was sort of doing all the admin, running around I was doing the deals. I was trying to connect things and stuff like that. And Nick sort of sat down and said, let's, and then we sat down. I said, okay, so what video do you want to do? He goes, no, I don't want to do a video. Because I want to do a show with you guys. So
a little bit of pee
I
started trickling down his leg.
No, it didn't. I just vomited. I just went, so what show are you thinking of doing? Because I used to love those shows, mate. The Acropolis Now and
Same.
shit
Grew up
that.
on it.
I used to look at that and go, I'd love to do that. So when he said that, I was freaking out. So I rang the boys, and the boys were like, calm down. We've got to see what the deal is first. We've got to see what's going on. And I was like, all right, cool, I'll calm down. And then, like what my brother said, Nick is he's unbelievable.
Yeah, you got to give props to the guy. Look, we were green. We had no experience in this. When you understood humour and comedy the way we understood it, but not on stage, not on that kind of level. He took 4 guys in who had no experience, gave us 4 weeks of just training.
Intense
training.
training,
It was
yeah.
just learn your lines and
rehearsal.
Rehearsals.
Yeah. So were you writing all your own
the first
stuff?
show, no.
No, he wrote the first show.
So he'd get little. He wrote the show, but he'd get little punchlines from our videos that were popular, and he'd put them in there. And
He'd work into your characters and stuff.
Yeah, like when we got on stage, we'd find little bits. Remember, we were sort of ad-libbing, and we're like, "Oh, that worked. To leave it in." But
In the first show, I don't think any of our characters were in it.
No, there was no dads.
was
There
definitely
was
no
the mum.
dads.
I think the mums were in
And
it.
what was it like? What was that? Was that your
P&G
first-
was in it. P&G were in there.
sorry,
Was that the first experience trying to act out someone else's idea?
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean?
yeah.
Because I feel like, correct me if I'm wrong, but a lot of the stuff that you guys did early would have been a lot of ad-libbing. You're driving around, you're just being yourselves, having a laugh, and then all of a sudden it becomes, this is a script, and you've got to, it's a system to turn it into a joke.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was the first.
What was that like?
It's a completely different experience because, like you said, because it's so scripted and you have to worry about where you're standing and how you deliver. And if you deliver too much, you're going to
Timing,
screw someone else. If you don't deliver the line right, you're not going to set up his joke properly. It was a whole learning process for us to work out how to make that work, how to make the timing work and respect each other's time on stage. There's all this kind of stuff. It sounds a bit like wishy-washy, but it's what makes a show a really good show is your sense of timing, how you relate to the other people on stage, how you respect their time, and also how you try and help sharpen their stuff. So if he's delivering a line, you can just stand there like that and wait for him to finish, or you can get involved in whilst he's delivering. And it makes everything. And that was something that again, props to Nick. His attention to detail is unbelievable, and he really showed us
Shows
the
us
way.
a lot, So I remember I was lucky enough in the first year to do he used to do these cleaning ladies. He's done it for fucking 40 years. These 2 cleaning ladies, and I was lucky enough to be one of the cleaning ladies in the show, and so I learned a lot of him then, and now I still do it now. Like if he says a line it's whatever, it's the reaction that helps the line and helps the joke, and everything helps all together. But the biggest thing you taught us is you need a stage manager, you need a lighting manager, you need a sound guy, you need a crew, you need all this sort of stuff, and everything has to be sharp, quick, polish, change, make it clean on the screen. The lighting's got to be great. Everything has to be great, as opposed to just a wishy-washy show.
The 3 of yous up there and a dude in a booth in the corner sort of thing.
Look, sorry, this is all props to Nick. Like I said, we never never turn our backs on Nick. He helped us in the beginning and everything. But you also then you establish a flavour of your own kind of style. And it's true. Like over time, over the years now, we've developed our own kind of flavour and our own kind of thing.
we just you're spot on, Ange. We just saw how you're supposed to do it or how it's supposed to be done, and then I guess the baton was handed over. And then we just sort of went, all right, well, let's take it to another level again.
It's funny. He said to us once, he said, because Nick had been doing shows for like 30 years, right? And he'd been casting people in his shows, comedians.
Yeah.
And he said, you guys
I remember that.
are the first in 30 years of all the people that have been in my shows. You guys are the first people that saw what I did, took it, ran with it, and did your own thing, and exceeded
leveled it up
to a level, you know. And he was very complimentary of that. And it was like, man, we'll always tip our hat to him because we still run it now, even from rehearsal to the end of the show is structured like one of
he taught you guys.
Shows.
So he did the one show. So he helped you write the one show.
We did 40 shows of that first show.
40 shows.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that was our
Fucking like Justin
our
Bieber,
debut.
man.
our debut that sort of went in. And that first show was hilarious. Yeah, I mean, it was like, it went for so long. It just, because we were just so long and just delivering shit, doing it slow. It was funny, but we got
At the end of the show, man, we were so wrapped.
The first one.
Because, we did 4 weeks rehearsal and we were like, and at the end of the show, we were so nervous. At the end of the show, we were jumping around going, we did it.
We thought we killed it, you know.
And Nick looked at us and went,
Be cool, boys. Be cool.
You got a
lot of work.
Where was it? Which venue was it? Where was it? Was it in Melbourne?
Athenaeum Theatre.
Is that the
Athenaeum
Athenaeum?
Theatre.
Yeah.
So we did so many shows together, and then in
2018
we did Star Wars with Nick and Mary Custis, Effie,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
right? And Nick said, "Go and write me 3 skits." So we went and wrote 3 skits.
So we wrote 3 skits. They smashed. We were just well received, and then from there we did our first 50 Shades of Ethnic. So it was literally like steps. It was like, okay, he wrote the script. Okay, now you're going to write the script. Write your own show. Arenas sort of has been a gradual sort of.
So now when we talk about arenas, we're like, because I don't think. I mean, I don't look. We're not saying Nick and his crew couldn't have done arenas back in the day.
I easily could have.
They just didn't for whatever reason. They like the theatre show, and that's it.
Dude, like, there's no one in Australia in anything selling out arenas, really. You know what I mean?
Well,
You
Carl
guys-
Barron.
Carl.
Barron,
He's a very fucking...
Carl
yeah,
Barron,
he's a
you
legend.
gotta love
My
Carl
favourite
Barron.
comedian for
Yeah.
sure.
Same here.
Absolutely my favourite
Top
comedian.
3.
Yeah,
Top 3. I watch him all the time. I've got all his
I spoke
specials.
to his manager once.
Yeah.
But do you know what I mean? Like, there's not even just in comedy. I just mean just in general.
Yes,
even
no, yeah, you're
musical
right.
acts
Yeah,
and
not
stuff.
many,
It's not like people
We're
are lining up.
blessed.
Aussies are lining up selling out Rod Laver Arena or any arenas.
Yeah.
And you guys are in the comedy space and selling out around the country.
Yeah, so we
it's
thought
wild.
let's try and if we're going to do an arena, let's make it like a Kiss concert.
That's the thing when there's 2 different things. The theatre, the way you present a show in a theatre is one way, and it's a little bit more intimate. It's a little bit more subdued. But then when you fill that big space, you've got to crank it.
It's more theatrics.
Fire, screens, and sparklers.
Is there a
and
delay in the reaction from the crowd
there's
as
a bit
well
of a
with
delay.
the laughs and
Yeah,
stuff?
you
Is
gotta
that an issue?
Wait a bit longer. It's just you got to fill this space. So it's 2 different. We get people coming to a theatre and the arena because it's 2 different. Someone on the weekend said to us, he goes, "Mate, I went to your arena and one." He goes, "I'm going to come." Where were we? In Bendigo. He goes, "I'm coming to the arena as well," because he goes, "I went last time." He goes, "It's unreal, It's 2 different feelings." But yeah, I mean,
Which one do you prefer?
Yeah,
Which one would you say prefer?
I like both. After doing these, we went back to theatres. We've started doing theatres in the rural runs. I like both. I like that tight space, but then I get in that arena and it's just like, oh shit.
It's 2 different experiences. Like even on stage, it's 2 completely different experiences. In a theatre, you get a nice 1,000-seater theatre. That the acoustics are great. The laughs come straight at you. You feel them with your backs up there because it feels like you're performing, and they're just sitting on your lap. There's laughter's hitting you in the face. And then you go to an arena, and the laughs are huge, but they're coming from everywhere, and they're kind of coming delayed.
And they're delayed.
Like a bit of a rock star up there. So it's too. I prefer the arenas just because Every time I
they
perform
pay
in an
better.
arena, it's like every time I perform in an arena, it's like, well, when's the next time? I keep thinking, when will be the next time I'll be able to do another one of these? The theaters is like. Don't get me wrong, it's an unbelievable privilege to do any room. But to be in an arena with thousands of people there cheering,
You're under no
that's
illusions
a
that
special
that's it.
feeling, you know.
Boys, the business side of it, talking about arenas, talking about stage crew, managers, lights, sound, all that sort of stuff. Like, is it a big investment to invest in that? Hopefully we sell some tickets, or do you sell some tickets, then you piece them together? Like, what's the business side of it?
The first show we did, which was 50 Shades of Ethnic, solo, we put down the deposits for all the venues and we paid for all the lighting and the stage managers and all this kind of stuff. When we jumped into the arenas, we have TEG Dainty, they're our touring partner.
Right.
They do all that part, but we've still got the lighting, we've still got the sound, we've still got the stage manager and bits and pieces. So it's not as big of an investment.
We could go with them, and they could find us a lighting guy and a sound guy and a stage manager and an assistant stage manager. They can find it all. They could cover it all. But because we're a bit anal,
Yeah, of course.
we just pay a bit extra, and we pay for it.
Have full control.
We got full control of it, and we know the same guy is going to be working on the show the whole time.
Consistent.
It's consistent. There's nothing going to fuck up for the person who's spending their hard-earned, you know what I mean, to come watch it, and they're going to fucking get a different experience. So,
Sounds like that care factor would go a long way as well.
It has to,
we
man.
hope.
I just feel like you guys are running around expecting people to love it. You guys are making sure.
yeah.
1%ers for us is everything. Like everything. Like it could be the tablecloth we use, the chair we decide to put on.
And
the
the
show.
encyclopedias up on your top fucking
There you
shelf.
go.
You think I didn't notice them?
There you go.
I fucking grew up with the same set, man.
There you-
Britannicas.
There you go. That's the
I
and
had
that
to pause
is-
the video and went, I get them from me fucking mum's joint.
mate. But that is a 1%er.
One, and
We've
you're
got,
true.
we've got a house in Avondale that we do all our content in. We decorated it down to the
fucking
fruit
brilliant,
bowl.
dude.
What's in the
Avondale
fruit bowl?
Heights.
Yeah, mate.
A few brickies around there.
You know the yellow lead.
Yellow stained glass.
Dude, that was
Yeah,
the doors
yeah.
to my
The
fucking
shit
lounge
carpet.
room.
Like, I'll give you an
That was-
idea. When we did we did this video once, and we're like, all we had to do was walk past the camera with the in front of the kitchen, and there's a kitchen bench there. So we're like, okay, we could walk through, or we could dress up the table and put some little intricate bits of things that people might relate to. You know what I mean? So we put the pasta dough bread, we put the knife in the right spot,
Salt,
the salt, the sacks of salt, and people are like, oh, the sacks of salt. And so it's these little things that people go, and it matters so much. A lot of people miss that. A lot of people miss those 1%ers. You know what I mean? They don't. They're like, oh, no, I'll be right. Like when we first shot,
She'll be right.
she'll be right.
Britannicas are like up on the top shelf, right up the top
the
left-hand
restaurant
corner.
now
Yeah,
too,
Yeah. That's all. It's all sort of thought out. When we first did the ethnic dad characters, we went to his factory, and we just threw. We threw together.
Yeah.
We've still got that somewhere.
We threw together like just a crappy outfit, and we just didn't look good. The environment didn't look good because it was in his
the steel
warehouse, and we look back at it and we're like, no, like we could have put that out. Look, honestly, if we had to put that video out, we probably wouldn't be sitting here today.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. Actually, you know what?
So explain that.
Ethnic
What do
dads,
you mean?
ethnic dads almost weren't born.
So, was that?
So yeah, explain that. So if you're saying if you did, you nearly didn't put it out.
Yep.
And if you didn't put it out, then you're not sitting here today.
It just wouldn't have been.
That video would never have exploded to the level that the video where we were meticulous in what we wore.
It was
the
never as
environment
good.
it was never as good.
Gotcha.
And we could have just gone, you know what, fucking just chuck it out.
What made you do that though? Why didn't you put that out?
just
You
didn't
reckon?
look good.
man.
Just
You
didn't
guys
look
just
right.
stuck and looked at it and went, we can do better than that.
And I look at some content now online, I'm like, the idea's there, but the execution isn't. It's like you're not going to be remembered. That video is going to go away, and no one's going to remember that video. No one's going to go,
There's the
I
lesson.
reckon
There's the
you're
lesson,
fucking right,
crew.
man. I'm sitting here about to take a note. You're spot on. I think we've just unpacked the secret sauce of you guys,
Yeah.
and it's the details, right?
Yes.
And it's the fucking. If you go downstairs and if you walk into our office, it's painted on the wall. It says execution is all that matters, right?
100%.
I reckon you're spot on. I'm just thinking about your brand, thinking about all your videos, and thinking it's all the details and the execution.
Hitting it everywhere.
Hitting it everywhere. Yeah,
have
there's just,
to.
it's authentic because
Yeah.
it's authentic all the way through.
You have to.
Yeah.
hard work. I know everyone says it.
Yeah, hard work. Yeah.
It's a lot harder to dial in every little
It's
detail.
every detail, everything,
100%.
every edit.
It take another half a day to go and get the stuff you need to put in the background for the video. Like so, or whatever it is. So people won't do that. Okay, you're going to pay the price somewhere down the line. You're going to pay the price because you didn't do it. You can go, I'll just put it out, see what happens. Or you could go, I'm leaving no stone unturned.
How you do anything is how you do everything.
That's right.
But sometimes you got to overinvest too, and hopefully it pays off. Like some of the early vids when we weren't making any money, it was just for fun. When we were building it, experimenting with things, we'd go to a costume hire place and spend thousands of dollars on costumes.
Well,
Like literally one
hiring.
skit, I think we spent $3,000 or something.
that skit there is the skit that Nick Giannopoulos saw.
Yeah, we went and
And
hired
if you
like
didn't
$3,000
spend the
worth of
fucking
stuff.
money, so if you don't spend the money
Nick
and
said-
back yourself
Nick
in,
said,
Nick
I
doesn't
haven't
see it and
seen-
you're not on stage.
Nick said,
It's
I
crazy.
haven't seen anyone work that hard.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, and that
in a
vid
long
didn't.
time.
That vid did okay, but it
So-
wasn't the most successful video we did. But it paid back in another way, in that someone picked up and went, "Oh, those guys went to the extra effort to do that. I know how much it costs to do all that. How much effort went into
Someone
that."
with a keen
Someone
eye,
picked
a
up on it,
learned
you know?
eye, goes, these boys are having a
They're
crack.
not
here."
just doing
And
it.
you know
man.
the lady that we hired the costumes off. This was a pinch me moment. We went in there, three unknowns. We're picking out all these costumes. It ended up costing $3,800. I
Something
remember
stupid like
something
that,
like that. Anyway, she's like, "Oh, good, yeah." We're doing a video. She's like, "Oh, cool, yeah, bip, whatever." So you just return them in a week. A few years down the track, meet and greets at one of our show. Her and her husband.
Crazy.
She hired you the first ever costume.
I was like,
Amazing.
"What?
You owe me
What the- how did we? We were hiring the thing. You didn't, and now you're here meet and greeting. You're like, it
Yeah,
was crazy. It was just a bit of a.
Hey,
It was like,
boys,
wow.
with the economics, going back to the economics again, at what point were you? How did you figure out how to make money? Because I didn't. When you're saying you sat in the car, you got your mate in the back. You're saying just act dumb, and you're putting these videos out. How did you start to work out how to monetize?
I remember because I got out first, and the boys were still with their businesses. I remember I was sort of we just thought, and I was like, we're gonna try and make a few dollars. So we started going to businesses like, for example, Royal Stacks, the burger joint.
Well, hold on, explain that. We weren't going. You get messages on the page. Would you like to do? Whatever,
But some
We were knocking on people's doors, going, "Hey, do you want us to do a video for you?" That's
some I did. Some I did sort of approach and say, listen, we're doing this because if I knew them, for example, or I'm talking about. Remember Honeydew, Royal Stacks, the blue yogurt.
Yeah,
we went around to these places, and I used to know some of these people and say, we can come to you, give us $2 or $3 and we'll come and do a video again, Vox Poppy sort of style, put it on our page. People come to your place. So I was selling sort of like
Advertising.
Brand deals, yeah.
You know,
The skits,
brand
yeah.
deals. And we're getting a couple grand here, a couple grand here, a couple grand there. And then from that, Lamana Direct saw it. And they contacted us and said, can you come and do a video at our place? So we did Ethnic Mums at the supermarket. And they paid us however much money it was, right? Not that much, but it was whatever. Then from that video, Chemist Warehouse saw that video. So then Chemist Warehouse messaged and said, we love what you did with the Lamana video. Can you guys come and do a video for Chemist Warehouse? So that's how the Chemist Warehouse relationship started.
Each one started to see it. You're
So
proving the
you- you're
concept.
sort
They
of-
started to go,
the-
hey,
we
okay.
put these-
I see the angle there.
Well, they
things
see the
together.
execution too,
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
they? They're looking at the execution, going, "These boys are doing it different."
Yeah,
Exactly.
that was the economics to start. It was
Yeah.
like, let's go and do these little things. Then these little things became drew attention to these bigger things, and then from Chemist Warehouse, that's when we started doing the shows, and some economics was there.
But brand deals have gone from
Brand deals.
that
Yeah.
to now. You know, again, it's as you you get bigger and your platform gets bigger and your audience gets bigger, it becomes more and more lucrative. So as we kept growing, they were like, oh, okay, we're not charging that anymore. We're charging.
So were you boys making it up because you didn't have managers? So you didn't have anyone telling you. So you just
we had a manager.
plucking numbers.
Didn't we?
Yeah,
What was her name again?
What's the name?
What was his?
What was her
It
name?
was Josie. I think her name was.
Sorry, Josie. Where's Josie?
Yeah.
now?
Josie, Josie.
Yeah, we had a manager
So
for
were
a
you
while.
just making it up?
We were just making it up.
Pluck a
We were
number
just
and
going,
they take it. You go, oh
let's
fuck, they were a
just
bit
get-
quick on that one. We'll go a bit higher next
let's get
time.
a cut. If we can do, I was like, if we can do 10 of these, because my background was in advertising, right? I was in sales, Herald Sun, Yellow Pages, those sort of. So I was like, okay, I know how much they sort of pay for an ad or this, that, the other. What about if we can give them an ad and give them this many eyeballs? We can sort of say, instead of paying 10 grand, pay 2 grand, and it's
Right.
going to work out better for you, and yada yada yada. And then the good thing is they were sort of fans anyway, so it worked. And then like I said, so it just sort of kept on growing and kept on bouncing, and we kept on growing, and then the ads kept on growing, and then we did 2 Pinot Silvestre ads. Pinot Silvestre is an old aftershave that our parents used to wear with Chemist Warehouse.
That's just perfect, isn't it?
It was perfect. So they brought that back, and so relationships were built, and then things kept on growing, and then
It's like,
that's
any
just-
other business, man.
just-
I mean, you don't start at the top. I'm not saying that. You don't start up here. You start down here, and you sort of things happen. You make some mistakes. Luckily, we didn't make a great deal of really anything in real bad moves.
Well,
in the beginning.
not bad moves.
Some were
but
more fruitful than others, but
we didn't make bad moves, but you make sort of like you learn from moves which you could have done better.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think
In the beginning, we didn't really need capital. It was just time.
It was just,
it
was
was
investment
time.
of
It was
time,
investment
going
of
around
time.
editing. Who
Going
was
around.
doing the editing? You were doing the editing?
I used to do a lot of the editing, and then Carlos, he's that 0.5 of a second, 0.3
Yeah,
of a
I'm with
second
you.
shave off.
Yeah.
His
The
attention
jump
to
cut.
detail is
Just-
amazing.
yeah.
So we used to do editing quite a lot. Then Ange sort of came in and do some editing too. So we still do it today.
Oh, that's crazy. So are you guys still? You're in
Yeah,
there in Premiere Pro?
yeah.
I
Because
fucking
it's-
love
no,
that,
I think
man.
that's a control thing.
Oh,
as
no,
well.
no. I'll tell you, no, it's not. It's just again, it's execution, man. Do you know what I mean?
We've
Like,
left it to
you
people
can't-
sometimes, and like it comes back, and it's like,
not
nah,
there.
it's not funny. You need to let that out a little bit more. You need to cut there. It's
Correct.
funnier. 'Cause it's all in the edit. The comedy, comedy movie. When you watch it and someone falls, it's like it could either be, cut it half a second earlier or half a second later. It's like, oh no, that half a second made it not funny.
Yeah.
But everyone's got their own style. So, I mean, the way someone else envisions the humour is different to the way you do. So you really got to be over that, I think. Everything.
100%.
No one cares as much as the people doing it.
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah.
So, like you said, you guys have just been growing, but I feel like in a space that do people come and go from your space? People, they come, they try. You guys just going on this
think
trend
characters
and
as well, like-
and still trying to stay relevant, keep evolving the humour. Think like Andrew was saying before, it was the ethnic sort of humour, and now it's just back to humour. Like, is that all strategic and trying to follow the scent?
To reinvent yourselves,
What you said
yeah.
before about people coming and going. I mean, people just, it's how much can you put into this before you start going, well, I'm better off working somewhere else. I'm not making enough money. So there's got to be a return. So a lot of people, there's a lot of really talented people out there that don't make it or that don't get the financial reward for what they can give. And that comes down to a lot of factors, who their management is, what they're trying to do, how much effort they're actually, how much they, there's a lot of factors. There's not just, I mean, there's a never-ending list of that. But secondary to that, it's like, well, we just got to keep reinventing and rethinking what you do. You can't do the same thing forever. You can do a version of the same thing, but it has to keep evolving. I mean, when you started building the apartments, how long ago?
Probably 10.
You're building different apartments
They
now.
evolve.
They're apartments, but they're different apartments.
The character evolves.
And everything evolves, and
yeah.
so does this. You got to keep sort of, and this is one of the things that we pride us as. Carlo is like a big stickler for this. You got to never do the same thing. The joke has to be different. The environment has to be different, and it works. You just got to keep pushing the envelope and finding new ways. And look, it's only this. Like, comedy is a pool of information, right? There's only that much. You don't invent new comedy. Comedy's just there. It's already been done, right? And you've got to find a new way of saying, how do I now present this in a new way. And then you get a topical theme comes through, so something happens, Trump or whatever, and on the comedy, all the comedians jump on that bandwagon. But it's all comedy. Comedy's comedy. You just got to find a fresh, new way of delivering it and keeping people engaged and being true and authentic to yourself.
I think one of the things I like ask myself is, how do you create a legacy? So if we're in how do you create a legacy? How does your business create? How do we? And so when I look at what we're doing, it's like staying relevant is one thing, or are we going to create a legacy? So do we want to stay relevant, or do we want to create a legacy? I personally, we want to create a legacy. So any move that we make has to be towards a legacy. So we're always thinking 2 years, 3 years ahead. Okay, we're going to do these shows. What's after the shows? What are we going to do for that year? And then what's going to happen after that? Then the audience is going to feel like they've missed us, and then we're going to want us more. Then we're going to go away. Then we're going to come back, and then we're going to make a restaurant. Then we're going to make another restaurant, and then our faces are going to be there. And so it's more about creating a legacy rather than staying relevant. Yeah, that's the way I would say.
Me and Pete, we call it the infinite game.
Yeah.
So always like not thinking of just now, but making decisions, like you said,
for the
future.
Something bigger than yourself.
Yeah, infinite game.
Yeah, how are we going to be perceived what are we going to be in 10 years? What are we going to be when these characters are the same age as us?
Yeah,
but they're still the characters.
No makeup.
So by that,
I fucking never thought of that.
By that,
you're actually going to be that old, aren't you?
And that's the difference between someone who comes in and goes, "I'm just going to sling a few jokes." It's like you have to think about how the audience is going to perceive you now, 5 and 10 years from now in what we do, and in 10 years, hopefully we've got the plan that we've got sees that this is becoming a legacy. It's becoming something that 3 other guys could probably jump in our spots and dress the way we dress and go, "Oh, that's Johnny with the Sushi."
Yeah, because what you've done is so strong.
Is that your favourite part now? Doing the shows
Absolutely.
and touring and stuff.
Yeah.
It's become your passion.
Absolutely, it's the for me especially, like when you asked that question before, would we prefer to do arenas or prefer to do theatres? I'd do this every night of the week. If I do 1,000 shows in
anywhere, in a small room, big room.
I prefer anything over 1,000 seats, please.
This year
It stacks up pretty good.
Make it worthwhile.
You're gonna make it worthwhile.
Boys, it would be remiss of us not to unpack the ethnic dads, right?
Yes.
Can we go back and understand like where that actually started, whose idea it was, when you thought, when you went all in on it? You said, "Boys, let's go all in on the ethnic dads. This is the thing." Does that make sense?
And the characters are actual characters.
Yeah, and who are they? Are they based on anyone specific?
And are they happy with the way that you
How's
present?
that happened? We just said let's do the ethnic dads, right?
we just said
Yeah,
well, I think
it
we'll
was
sort of
based on
just-
something that I saw. Yeah, ages
there was a
ago.
video. I can't remember what video.
I
it was.
remember what video it was, but I can't remember.
Yeah.
No credit.
And we just like, I've just literally just someone saying different lines.
Yep.
We're like, "Oh, why don't we
We hadn't
do?"
used that format. Yeah,
We hadn't never used the format. We're like, "Why don't we just do like stuff our parents said as we were growing up?" And we just, like I said, the first time we did it, we went to Andrew's factory.
Yeah.
We tried it out. It was no good. Then we went, "All right, we got to up this a notch." We said, go back to the house, get an outfit, put some effort into it.
Meet in a week.
And we'll reshoot it.
So
in
you
the
all had
loggy-
to come back with your own lines in a week, yeah?
Yeah,
Is that what you're
lines
thinking?
plus
Outfit.
outfit.
Plus, we were doing it at his mum's house,
Which
and
is-
Dad's.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, we had an hour window.
An hour.
Mum was quite sick at the time, and so she was like, "Dad, get Mum, take it to the pokies
Take
for
it
an
to
hour.
the
Get her out of the house. Yeah, get her the fuck
Fucking
out.
funny,
We need 1
that's
hour
how-
here because
You got to
Mum
do a skit of that. Look at the pockets.
and walk that house. It was like walking back in time. It was
Whereabouts?
It's in Bentley.
Yeah.
Bentley.
He built units on it now.
And I pulled down, put units on it now. You know how it goes, bro. What are you going to do, man? Yeah, we own the land, man. So. And it's a shame that we knocked that place down because it was anyway. And we had an hour window, and we kind of went there. And I don't know about these guys, but I just raided my dad's cupboard and what fit me at the time. Dad's so everything was a bit tight and a bit whatever. We put everything on and just. I had a wig that I bought for a woman character that grey wig that I wear as Sam, and that was supposed to be for a woman character.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it was supposed to be for a woman character that I wanted to create a few weeks before, Never came.
A woman character with that hair.
Because I was going to wear it backwards, Pip. I was going to wear that backwards.
I didn't even know that. I'm learning something new.
God.
And
on
so
the
I just put
podcast.
it on and went, oh, this will do. And if I'd known, I would have shaved because now I'm stuck with this thing forever. We didn't know. We didn't know that they were going
It's
to.
not allowed to.
I'm stuck with this
I
forever.
fucking, you don't even think of that, do you?
He's never allowed to shave. You can't shave.
I was going through a phase. This phase has lasted 10 fucking years.
So we went in the house. We went in the house and we just.
So you went into your mum's house,
So
right?
they left. We got an hour. Let's shoot this. We shot it, cut it up, and put it out. It went wild. 10 million views or whatever it did. Went crazy.
So when you put it out, you just put it out on your own account. How many
Yeah.
followers you got at this point?
Nah, not many at this point.
No.
Maybe
Hundreds? We
50,
talking hundreds?
maybe
No, I think
50,
it's more than that.
A couple of hundred?
maybe a couple.
Well, no, it was pretty. It was.
It was about 100 and something.
2016 they went out, didn't they?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. I look. I think we got a couple 100,000 followers or something by
Off
the
the
end
back of that video.
Yeah, by the time it was all done. Plus,
Yeah,
it was
yeah.
2017. It was a different time. The algorithm was different.
True, yeah.
And there was no Instagram too.
There's
It
no
was
Insta- well, there
Facebook.
was.
your
It was just,
Facebook, yeah.
Yeah, it was all on Facebook.
On Facebook, yeah.
But man, just off topic.
That's all the people you're impersonating are hanging out on Facebook.
So we did a video recently, Christmas video. Not sure if you saw it. It's the ethnic mums.
Yeah, fuck yeah,
doing
brilliant.
Christmas.
Yeah.
In the kitchen.
That video has had 100 and I think close to 150 million views. It was Australia's largest Instagram video. We can't find anyone else that
Last
and
it's
out of
like-
Australia.
Obviously, you haven't
Period.
been on our
Period.
account. No. We can all do jokes, boys. But yeah, carry on.
But that video got us how many?
Damn!
The account.
It started. No, look, not that video.
that
That video plus videos we started releasing after that video from December.
A million? Would you say a million?
1.3
1.3 million
on
followers.
Instagram.
Because what happened?
That
People
just
would go
lit
watch
yous
that
up.
video, then they'd go to the account, and then they'd watch the other videos.
Videos,
and follow
yeah.
it. So
So
you
it
just
just sort of
everything else was bump,
compounded.
bump.
And
Snowball.
then we'd put out these new videos, and those videos were getting 30, 40, 50 million. Then another. It's just from that December video to now, it's something like 1.3,
That one
1.4.
crack. You know, it's that we had a few
Persistence.
cracks, had a few cracks, and once then you just hit this lightning in a bottle, perfect storm. That mum's video that just every mum in the world was the same.
100%.
We-
Christmas
we
Day.
all
We're talking
thought
about the Christmas Day one?
Christmas
Yeah,
Day.
absolutely.
And then that
Barney
just did a
Jones.
snowball effect on a bunch of other ones. Then we put a couple others, and like Carla said, just we did
It's
a
the
couple
same
of
with the
reaction
da-
videos. They
yeah.
went berserk as
It was
well.
the same with the dad's video back then. It's just like it's lightning in a bottle happens, and then
But no one knew. See, if you go back to what you were saying about the dad's video, Ange was saying about his beard. I went to Kmart and bought a $7 pair of pajamas. I still wear them today. They're the same pajamas.
Yeah, they
So
cost you $7.
Kmart, shout out. They work.
What an investment.
What an investment,
Yeah, yeah,
right? But now, for the rest of my life, I've got to be in pajamas. Like, even when we go out in shops and stores and people's houses, I'm always in these fucking pajamas. And the funny thing is, my mum character
you pay
is the
your power
same.
bill.
She's in the.
You guys didn't pay your power bill. The TV went off there. I was like, oh, these guys don't pay their bills.
Can I say, can we go on to the house, right?
Yeah.
How did the house come about? Because I know you shoot the podcast in there and you do content in there. Pete probably looking at it because I'm pretty sure it's out in the west, so he probably wants to flip it. Or he wants to split it. But
we got
is
a
anyone
price on it.
Beautiful.
We got a price on it.
Oh, really? Is anyone living in it?
No.
Did you guys buy it for the podcast and shit? Talk to us. What's
we
going on
rent
with the
it.
house?
So we rent the house out, and but we don't do the podcast there. We do the podcast
That's
at
right.
the listener studios.
We do the
because
podcast.
it looks like
yeah.
you're in the kitchen at the house
Yep.
sometimes when you do the podcast.
Early on,
Early on, we did.
changed it, but
Yeah.
changed up. But we do all
We
of our
just
skits.
got that for the skits and content and everything like that. And again, all the furniture in there.
So you rented. So you went out
Yeah.
to the. This is again comes back to the execution. So anyone following along at home, this is how you do it, right?
Oh, mate.
So you guys have gone. Let's get a fucking.
Let me
house."
tell you about the execution on this
talk to
house.
us,
If that's what the people want to know about this.
Absolutely.
camera?
It's the
Straight down.
execution.
You're over here. You're over here.
He's over there, Carl.
Listen, I'll tell you about the execution on this house. We searched for this house for 8 months. We had 5 or 6 real estate agents looking for an old school Wog Palace. They'd come back, they'd show it to us. We'd go in there, and we'd go in the kitchen. It looked like and they'd put a new oven in. And we're like, "Where's the old oven, man?" And he'd be like, "What the hell's wrong with you?
Bastardised it.
You don't know what mate? Can you get the old oven and put it in?" And they're like, "No, it's gone." I'm like, "Well, we can't take this house." Like, okay, we go into another house. Floorboards. Where's the carpet, man? Oh, they just did floorboards. What do you mean? It's brand new floorboards. And we're like, no, we need the old carpet. Do you have the old carpet? No old carpet. Forget about it. 8 months searching high and low. We came into this place in Avondale. We walked in. We're like, oh my God. Untouched. The tiles, the carpet, the wood grain, the yellow stained glass, the chandeliers, everything was there. The backyard, the pillars at the front.
The entry, the door with the fucking second entry.
And we're like,
Fruit trees were out the back.
fruit trees, lemons. Man, there's
patio,
like 8 different types of fruit at the
rail
back.
on the patio.
We're like, this is it. We're like, this is it. By the way, the house is crooked, right? So you walk in the kitchen and you're walking like that. Then you walk like
The
that.
stumps need redoing.
Stumps need redoing, but we don't care.
After all those real estate agents and things like that, a friend of mine sent me the house. Hey, have a look at this place. And so again, things just happen. And this house now, 2 years.
But just happened. But again, it was what you were saying.
It's the detail, man.
It's the detail.
No. When I say
We could have
But
gone
even
into
just going to
somewhere
get a
else.
fucking house,
No,
right? Even just to go and get a house and to have the fortitude to go, hey, let's take this all the way.
Yeah.
Let's not go and build a set.
Correct.
Let's go
Yes.
get the real fucking thing. Because it's been authentic the whole way through for you guys. And that's why it hits, I think, because like you said, the details matter because they're what people resonate with. Like with me, I see the Botanica thingos. It takes me back to Bundura.
Everyone gets a touch point in there.
Gets a touch point in
Even the
there.
furniture,
And it's
we
because it hasn't been
purchased all that
manufactured. It's
Sorry
authentic.
to cut you off
No,
there.
you're right.
The furniture in the house.
Yeah, it's so good.
We bought all that furniture from the
Wog Boy. The movie.
Yeah.
Oh,
set.
bullshit.
I did a deal with a guy.
We didn't have a house at the time.
So they
We
filmed
just bought the furniture before we had a house. So we need all this stuff.
So
And they
what were you
selling it.
thinking what was the mindset behind buying the house? Just what was the
it
mindset?
was just one was because when we were shooting videos at my mum's house, mum would go, "Oh, guys, swearing, Mum, we're shooting the video here." So
You can't shoot in your nice house with a
Okay.
nice, because it just doesn't look right, right? So we'd try and go to my mum's or we'd try and go,
the shit out the way
and
to
just
make
because
it
it
look
still
like-
looked
yeah.
a little bit.
then we started
It's- but-
annoying her because the house that we had originally, he put 2 units on, right?
Fuck, man.
So
And filming in a new townhouse wasn't going to
Yeah,
fly.
Marble
So-
benches and
Can't rebuild that shit either.
No,
you
you
walk
can't
in
rebuild that shit.
and it's
Rebuild it.
smell and everything.
That's
You
right.
can't go and do that somewhere.
can't.
on a set.
Nah,
You
so that's what it was. We just thought to ourselves, let's go and get this place. It can be for shooting. It could be potentially for
to get away from your
whatever.
wife, whatever,
Okay,
you
if the
know,
missus is doing
whatever you need it for, it's there.
We fully furnished it with all this original furniture, and it's there. So whenever we've got to shoot anything, it's there. No one's there. You're not bothering anyone, and we can do whatever we want there.
Have people found it? Have people,
Yeah.
do you know what I mean? Because I'm not
we
thinking,
fucked up
what's the
sometimes.
house?
We put the number.
They all look
Take
the
it to
freaking
the
same
building
out there,
room.
man.
Remember
How
the
you going to
famous
find it?
house? Take it to the
We
pool
came.
room. That show, what's it called?
Take us to the pool room.
Daryl.
Yeah, you remember the house?
Yeah,
I
Castle.
feel like this
Castle.
house, you
Oh,
keep
yeah.
it long enough,
Yeah.
and you keep putting out $120 million fucking, or 120 mil videos.
20 million, excuse
This
me.
thing's
I'll
going
take
to
it.
fucking sell for a
We're
premium,
selling it for
man.
120 million if you want.
I'll sell you everything for 120 million if you want. Everything. My house, his house,
No, but-
everyone's house.
Yeah, so we've had some. So we did a video once about like putting a stick, like when the wogs used to go over to someone's house and no one was there, they used to let them know that they were there. They used to put a twig or a flower or move a pot or whatever. And then one day I rocked.
It's been happening for years. Like,
It's been happening-
everyone does it.
It's like it's just a normal thing.
Common fact.
Common fact. And then we got to the house the next week and there was a twig in the door. It's like, oh, someone's found the house. Someone knows what the house is because
Someone knows what we know.
yeah.
If you know, you know.
If you know, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's been a panettone there. You know what a panettone is? A big muffin. You guys.
Oh,
would-
yeah.
There was one of those at the front door one
love.
day.
I like that.
love.
and our next door neighbour's Joe. He's
Joe's
a
a
They
little-
know, so your neighbours know what's going on.
Yeah. Well, he's a little Italian guy, and he looks after our bins. He looks after the house. Like
he
would
he
love
looks
it
after.
too.
He looks after like.
They've got the
this-
Greek couple across the road. They
Greek
come
couple
bring
across the road.
biscuits and stuff all the
Biscuits
time.
Curambieres.
and,
Yeah, it's
So
nice.
it's a beautiful little community out there, and yeah, we love it. We've shot TV shows there. We've shot parts of other bits and pieces there. It's been great.
That was actually one of my questions I was going to say. So normally, well, not normally, I would think as a progression, if you guys thought, like, I'm thinking like Netflix, Hulu, all these big, they'd be
Can't say too much.
throwing stuff at you guys.
But we're talking Netflix at the moment about our special.
Yeah.
About
Okay.
a
So
special.
more of a comedy special than a series or something like that.
about like the show, the old show, Off the Boat. We shot it at the Palais over 2 nights, and it's a different kind of thing, because the way we do our shows, they're like 4 skits, so it's kind of like episodic. It's 4 different episodes, and we're talking to them about putting that on there. We'll see how that goes.
Yeah, and again,
Who knows?
we think it's a no-brainer, but
That's a fucking
Who
no-brainer for
knows?
sure.
Yeah.
But I feel like you got the house and shit, man. You could go do.
yeah, we could.
You could go.
Yeah.
And,
We
fuck,
could do
imagine
a show or
Mrs.
whatever.
Brown's Boys style,
Yeah,
sort of. You know what I mean?
100%.
It's
Yeah,
like
we-
Well,
comedy.
we're writing a movie at the
Oh,
moment.
yeah,
with,
amazing.
So we're penning a movie at the moment. Village Roadshow.
Fuck, imagine that, boys.
Yeah.
I was just thinking that. My mum, God bless her, used to love Mrs. Brown's Boys.
Oh, yeah.
But imagine you boys doing that. That's the kind of
Oh,
show
yeah,
you could do
100%.
where
Yeah.
you guys have got the open thing, live audience, and you're just fucking riffing, being yourselves and living out these scenarios.
That's
and
the
stuff.
dream. A movie, and then
Mrs. Brown's,
that
yeah.
to follow up. But we want to do we want to have multiple movies under the belt.
You're already on
and stuff like
Spotify with, what is it, Orchestrated and Joel Fletcher.
Yeah.
How did that happen?
Mate, shit, they just approached
Joel
us.
reached out.
Joel
Or
reached-
was it the boys that orchestrated?
Joel.
It was Joel. Joel
Joel
reached
reached
out
out.
and said, "Look, we're doing a Tarantella song. Love to have you guys involved." And we're like, "It's fun, just fun idea, fun stuff to do." And
Did you get to any of your shows and get up on stage or anything?
No, we
Not
didn't have a
yet.
chance.
Those boys, mate.
Yeah,
They
they
go off.
kill it,
They're
yeah.
doing the orchestrated's finishing up or something.
Yeah.
Oh,
like
are
that.
they?
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
They're
Yeah.
doing a big ending party or something.
They've been
like
around
that.
for years,
Yeah,
man.
they've been around for.
Yeah.
They're great boys.
Yeah.
The song was great. It was good to,
Bit of fun,
and
didn't get a chance. And that's going back to what you were saying before about, is it still fun? Sometimes, man, we get, and it's not so we're not whinging, but you get so busy with different things. You got to be in different certain places, and then like when we were writing this show for 5 weeks, we had to go and do an international tour. So we did Canada, America, while writing. So then you got to get back and you got to get straight back into the writing of it. So like what Carlos said, it becomes a job, and you miss out on something sometimes,
Sacrifices,
So,
yeah.
exactly right. So we haven't been to one of Joel's show yet, no.
Sorry, PK. I was going to say, what about the restaurant? Because we haven't spoken about the restaurant.
No. Go for it.
Yeah, I've got a yeah. No, sorry. Hey, boys, I've got a question.
Don't worry about it. I'm talking
Boys,
about
I've got,
restaurant.
I don't know, this may come across as a stupid question, but the first thing that came to mind with the restaurant is, why the fuck isn't it called fucking Joe, after you boys, and it's called Vinny?
Johnny.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So
Well, it's
that
a
was
bra-
the first thing that came to my
It's a
mind.
branding thing again. Like the characters of the brand, no one gives a shit about us.
Yeah, right.
Like when I'll give a story about what
That's that legacy piece.
Yeah.
It's
yeah.
like,
So
it's not about you guys,
yeah.
it's about...
the heads up there. They're their heads. You know, it's their IP.
That's
the
so good.
heads.
Yeah.
So
where's my camera?
Yeah. Johnny, Vince, and Sam.
where did you get that, by the way, man?
Have you not seen one?
What a coincidence you turned up with that T-shirt.
I know.
Wow.
No, but that's again, like
So it's a no-brainer.
it's a
that you go
no-brainer.
straight- Yeah,
It's-
of course.
that's their the IP. And remember when we did that that early on in the piece, we went and did a birthday. Someone hired us for a birthday. We don't do any of this kind of stuff now, but she was begging us. This
I
lady
remember
was
that.
begging us, please, my son is. We're like, all right, we'll come. We'll do this thing. We did this birthday. We rocked up. We did this. Said hello to him in character. We were there for an hour. Anyway, we got out of character. And there was one little kid when we were in character, and he was looking. He's like, he's saying all the lines to us. He's like, "Yeah, pull your bastard. When I have my tomato, he's looking at us like that. We got changed, came back out, in our normal gear. I went to the kid. Hey, kid, how are you? And he went.
He was devastated. we crushed that kid's dreams when he realised they
He was
weren't
looking at me.
real,
He didn't know who were. He didn't want a bar of me. He didn't care that I was Vince. He didn't even care that I'm the guy that played Vince. He wanted to see Vince. He just went, I'm out of here, get the fuck... And he walked away from me, man. He didn't come near me. And that's how it feels sometimes. Like people, that when you put the characters out, when you put these characters... That's why I know, like, we have something that I'm proud of, is that we put the characters in front of these people, their face... Like, they see us, they're like this, their face just... oh my God, it's Johnny Vincent Sam. There's a different reaction on their face, you know. It's
Yeah.
them that we owe everything to, the characters, you know. Otherwise,
Can I make mention of something that's probably really rooted deeply in this whole thing? It's like he talked about legacy. Carlo talked about legacy.
Yep.
Legacy can mean a number of things, but with what our brand represents, it's more about those who came before us.
Yeah.
And it's rooted in that. So the legacy is in...
So we're talking about like the Poiters and do you know what I mean? Like, all the different characters that have kind of come before you guys, like great Australian comedic characters that have gone like, what is it? There's Poiter, there's Russell Coit, there's
Russell Coit's one. I mean that's an iconic character that he's got his own.
Con the Fruiterer?
Con the Fruiterer.
Yeah.
I would say even more like the olden day.
Hang on, is that what you meant?
No.
No.
Yeah, to say,
Get us
just-
firing straight.
I see what angle you're going down, and we could talk about that too. It's more about the characters, the Johnny Vincent Sams, the Angela Carmela, the Giuseppina. These are our mums, our dads, our grandparents, but not just ours, everybody's. And so the legacy is about creating a legacy for those people, the forgotten generation, the immigrants who came here before us. Of course, we play a part of that. We want to create a legacy, but it's all surrounded about representing those, and that's why their faces appear everywhere. So that's not our faces. It's rooted in what the brand represents.
Yeah.
It's more. It's not just let's have a good laugh, but there's something more to it, you know. So then if you that's the backstory, okay.
That's true. And what you were saying before, yes, we are just a couple of guys standing on giant shoulders. We've said it from the start. You know, we're just playing our part.
Yeah, because
with those people you mentioned, like I said,
trying to
Nick
think of some. Yeah, there's
Giannopoulos,
been some
Effie,
really big
George
ones.
Capanas.
There you go,
Acropolis now is the
Acropolis
one,
now, yeah,
one of the big ones. Obviously, Con the Fruiterer, he was huge.
Yeah.
You know, in this space, and you know, there's others, but some support you more than others. Some are back you more than some of the others.
Oh, really? So, and some you ruffle a few feathers as you're
Some
coming
get
through?
some get jealous.
Some
Yeah,
might
of
get
course.
jealous. Some might not. might
Some
just
can, you know.
might have their own agenda, and that's fine. Everyone's entitled to do whatever they want to do. But we know who our mates are, and we know who the people that backed us, and that want to keep on backing us, and we'll keep backing them. You know, no matter how big or whatever we get, we always we always just want to be. We want to be friends with everyone. You know what I mean?
There's no point in having a god complex.
No.
The fact that you guys, not even being funny, the fact that you decided, or you've come on our podcast.
Australia's number one
Australia.
podcast.
Australia's number
But
one.
you didn't know that when you
For
signed
50 grand, I'd do anything. You know what I mean? Like,
No, but in all seriousness, like you guys are, you know, when you walked in, you were like trying to figure out what state you were in.
Yeah,
You've been that fucking busy. So you know what I mean? Like for you guys to sort of fit us in, sort of, I guess it highlights
generosity's
highlights
there,
that.
man,
guys, but we say back to you guys though, we don't look at it like that. We say thanks for having us.
Yeah, thanks.
Absolutely.
You know,
Yeah.
that's the way we look at it.
Have you been to the restaurant?
No, I haven't, but we're
let's
going to go.
Thanks for your support. Appreciate your support. Man. It's very nice of you guys.
It's now on the list, and now we can
100%
just say we
go,
know the boys, so it's all sorted.
And I'm going to get one of those tickets up in the bleachers in October.
No,
But
if you don't want to go.
So how's the restaurant? Talk to us about the restaurant. So whose idea was that, and how? Like, I was in hospitality when I was a kid. It's a bit. We were shop fitters.
It started
Fucking
with
bit of
Danny-
capex, boys.
us.
Bit of capex to get a restaurant off the ground.
What you did capex?
Bit of capital. You know what
Oh,
I mean? To get-
yes.
So,
I
Jeez,
thought it was a cappuccino.
That's where all the capital went. We didn't need capital at the start. We do now with these restaurants. That's for sure. Yeah, it's
How did it start? Danny,
did that come about?
Okay. Again, going back to when we were doing those little videos at shops.
shit. That's true.
Right? We spoke. Danny Zaney, who's one of our business partners now, was like, "Hey, we know what we should do one day, guys. We should open up a comedy diner,
Just a Sooshi Mango diner.
Sooshi Mango comedy diner."
And we had visions of it
yeah.
being different though. Visions of like just screens playing
Bit of a
old style comedy and
Disneyland type.
just sort of Disneyland vibe, you know?
like a gimmick sort of.
Yeah, it kind of actually was a bit
Yeah,
gimmicky.
bit
what we
gimmicky.
were saying, you know.
Anyway, that 2 years passed because we still obviously working away, doing our thing, whatever, and then our other business partner Johnny DiFrancesco from 400 Gradi, he won pizza margarita of best margarita in the world in 2015.
Yeah.
So Johnny actually was the very first person to hire us. He gave us $1,000 back 2015 to do some
Johnny's
promo.
listening. You're a fucking cheap bastard.
What a legend! So he gave you your first gorilla.
First gorilla,
gorilla.
first money paid a thing for a pizza fest he was having, and we promoted that. So we never forgot that.
Yeah.
And then a couple of years later, we said to Johnny, we should do like a pizza shop, a little pizza.
Pizza in the wall type of like, you know, the old school,
yeah.
you know, the small pizza places. And he's like, yeah, we should. Then COVID hit, right? And I was sitting, actually on the phone with my one of my best mates, Steve, who's another business partner. And
28 business partners.
I was going to say, fucking how do you get in, boys?
There's 6 of us. That's a passion project. Anyway, so he goes, hey, you know what? It would be good. He goes, there's no good sports bars in Melbourne. You know, when you go overseas, there's those sports bars. I was like, yeah, you're right. He goes, you know what? We should try and open one after COVID because everyone will want to go. I said, it's funny you say that. We've got a concept to open up a restaurant. And he's like, really? Tell me more. So I was telling him about it, this, that, the other. He goes, man, we can do this. And I said, listen, I'll introduce you to the boys and, you know, we can introduce you to the other guys and, you know, we could talk to Danny and then we can talk to Johnny. So we talked to Danny. Danny was keen. Then we talked to Johnny. Johnny was keen. Everyone got involved. We started stirring the pot. And
Make a big minestrone.
and then, you know, 8 months later, popped out Johnny Vincent Sam's. You know, the concept of a restaurant mimicking your Nonna's house or mimicking Avondale type of vibe.
Basically Avondale, yeah.
And when people rock up there, they we've had
Some
people
cry.
Yeah, I was going to
Yeah,
say
we've
that.
had
many.
Yeah, I was going to say that part, but you just stole it. They're right.
Bring it back. Yeah, go.
Yeah, so some people walk in there, they get emotional.
Some cry. You know?
Yeah.
Did it pop? So did it pop straight away? So once you guys launched, were you filling it up straight away, or did you have to get out and sort of hustle?
We're lucky enough. I mean, with the audience that we have, we've been blessed to have people there. I know some people are struggling in the industry, which is sad to hear. And I think it's not as bad as what the media make it to be, and the media make it worse by saying,
Always.
you know, the media keeps saying to everyone, if 1 in 4 restaurants are going to shut down, and it gets in people's heads, and people go, maybe I shouldn't go to a restaurant because it's too expensive. I'm not going to go because it's shut down, and then they don't go even more, and they make it harder for people.
Self-fulfilling.
Shouldn't that make people want to go?
No, it doesn't.
It does.
It's doom and gloom. When you put doom and gloom, people are like, it is too expensive to eat. I'm not going to go there. For us, we're blessed that we've got people
Loyal
coming
audience,
that want to see the place, that want to.
But
We've
again,
got fantastic
it's not just
food.
it's the extra layer, right? It's the story that goes behind the restaurant is why people are going there, not just the restaurant itself.
Yeah.
And it's the food too.
And the food.
Well, they
yeah,
go
of
there
course.
for that reason. Then they
taste the
stay
food.
for the
The
food.
food.
The food's actually really
So they
food's
go
a-
for the nostalgia and stay for the food.
The food's a key. The food's
Yeah,
a key. Like Johnny and his food. And like
Is he the 2015 best
Yeah.
moment?
Yeah.
I need to try his fucking pizza.
No, it's that's what it is. It's the food that keeps people coming back. You can put out like Pizza Hut. Like, so we could have just say we had that place, and the pizza was like Pizza Hut. They're coming once, and you're never going to see them
Yeah,
again,
because then it's a gimmick, right? Yeah.
right? But we're like, no, you're going to come, and you're going to see what gnocchi tastes like
Yeah,
at our
get
place.
authentic.
You're gonna have the dishes that we had growing up, the starters and all this. The
Did you
stuff.
work on the menu?
Yeah, the
absolutely we worked on them. It's everything. You got to pay attention to every detail.
Aren't you?
Like,
We're getting the message, boys. We're getting the message.
That's actually a stupid
all the
fucking
detail.
question.
Yeah, a little bit.
My bad, fellas.
From everything, from the tiles. Me, Carl, and Andrew, we went out looking for tiles for the toilets. Like we went, we found them, we sourced them.
Where did you find the
Oh,
tiles?
the tiles, man.
Reservoir.
Fuck, Reza, yeah.
No,
Out in the north for
no,
sure,
you don't
man.
understand.
Bundoora, there'd be some fucking
really
tiles.
You don't understand. We
Understand.
couldn't find tiles anywhere for bathrooms.
Okay, hang on. I went to at least 6 places that all said to me, geez, if you came to me 2 months ago, I just threw some out I had for 30 years. All right, then
I rang a
called-
place in Sunshine, and I was like just. By that point, there was no point going because we knew that no one would have them. We're just bringing people. But I rang the place and said, "Listen, we're looking for this kind of style, 1960s." He goes, "Mate, they haven't been in productions for 30 years, mate. So you're never going to find them." However, I've got this one guy. I'll give you his number. If he doesn't have him, just give up. What was his name? I forget his name.
Rosario.
Rosario. Yeah. Rosario. So I bring it up and bring the number and it's like, picks up. So he goes, "Hello. Yes, we're looking for this towel. Yeah, you come here next week, Thursday. I can't come on Wednesday because I've got to take my wife to the doctor. You come.
So to God.
They say, well, he was talking to me, and I thought, where the fuck are we going? And we gave me the address. He's a gentleman, a lovely bloke. We turned up at the reservoir. It's in the residential area. It's not a shop. He was an ex-tile shop owner. He had one here and one in somewhere in the other side of the world, Shepparton or somewhere. Going to his house, he opened his garage, and it was like a bloody
It was like a tile shop.
in there.
But you missed
Back
the
in
best
time,
part.
yeah.
The guy was 4 foot.
Oh,
8.
yeah, he was this tall.
He was the exact replica of our characters.
Could have been a character. You
Yeah,
should have got him on
could have
board.
been.
Checkered shirt. Checkered shirt comes out. Is this tall? You know, I don't know, what do you
Brown
want?
pleats.
Brown pleats. The house, and he goes, what do you want to do this? A tile? Yeah, come with me. He had a system, like his system for where everything was all handwritten and a filing system. So he'd go here, pull it out, he'd go, row A, number 12 over there. So there.
5 tiles.
5 tiles.
He knew he had 5 of that.
5 over there.
tiles.
And there's a 13 over there. And it's like, it was amazing.
And
it was
at
like
the
a
start,
godsend.
though, he was looking at us like, what do these guys want with these tiles? Like, why are these 3 young guys wanting these old tiles?
They were a hot seller 30 years ago, but not anymore.
And he was sort of a little bit looking at us like, what the hell? And then finally, we explained to him what we were doing. And then afterwards, we had to leave. And he's like, all right. Walks slowly back to into the kitchen. Comes back. Gives us 3 orange juices each.
He was lovely, man. He was
And then I
good.
go, so we're going to go. He goes, who cares? He goes, look, if you leave now and you get a flat tyre and you're going to be stuck on the side of the road, you're going to be late anyway. So who cares if you're late? He goes, so his mindset was, you might see what happens. So you might be late anyway. So don't worry, just stay.
And he said at the end, I can't remember what it was, but he would say, hey, no, it's this one here, 13 bucks, it's come to $260, just to give me 250 cash. He was a lovely guy, man.
So did you have an interior designer, or
Absolutely.
you boys, or you pieced it together?
Mitchell
You had
Needs,
someone
who have done...
done fucking well, man.
Yeah.
Mitchell Needs, who's done like all of Chris Lucas's... Well, most of Chris Lucas's plays.
Real Americana, she did.
Americana, I think she did.
She's all of, you know.
Actually, I think we saw a skit. I don't know if you know this. Sam, who's
Rigatoni.
the agent. Yeah, Sam Rigatoni.
Oh,
it is
Sam,
Sam
yeah,
Rigatoni.
yeah, we did a Sam for Sam.
Rigatoni. There you go.
Sorry, Sam. I'll straighten
Sorry.
up.
Well, me and Sam.
Is that rigatoni?
Sam's on our website.
He agreed with Rigatoni. He's like, yeah, Rigatoni.
I couldn't work out whether it was a joke
Sam's
or
on
you'd
our
been
website.
serious.
that
And
was
I've seen
fun.
that you guys have done a skit with
Oh, yeah,
the
that was-
auction
that was
skit.
The
fun.
house.
Yeah.
That was
Have you seen that,
fun.
PK?
It's funny,
Yeah,
man.
there you go.
It's funny. But no, so we helped with all that and the glasses and the couch and
Down
the
to the
furniture
menu,
and the
we
menu.
sat down and we sort of scrutinised the menu. It's got to look a certain
We just
way. and
wanted what we had growing up, and Johnny, being Sicilian as well, we're like, we want the verdura and we want the peppers and potatoes. He's like, I got it. We want a different style pizza. We don't want the round. We want a bit more airy and a bit more home style, crusty on the edges. And he goes, I got something. You know, we want this, we want that.
so
He
you pieced
just
it.
knew.
You had your boy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and we're
he's
not
the best.
and we're
He's the
not
best.
like we're not stupid. People are looking at us going, what the fuck do you guys know about restaurants? We don't know anything about restaurants.
Yeah.
That's why we got Johnny and Danny.
No, I was going to say that before. One of the things I was going to say before for the people listening at home, they try and get the nuggets. The key sounds like the reason you've been able to move at the rate and be able to keep up with the rate of growth is the people that you're plugging in, right?
Oh,
so you
yeah.
guys,
Very
you go, I want a restaurant, I know nothing about it, but fucking Mr. Pizza
Oh,
guy knows everything and over here. So it's really about whenever you come up with whatever ideas, it's getting the right people around you in the right positions.
Don't be afraid to dilute your share.
There you go. Because a lot of people fucking
But
don't like
partnering
I don't like
partnering with
no.
masters.
Yeah.
And
Dilute your share to partner with masters.
That's
And then
fucking
you'll
great.
find your remaining share is worth more than the
Oh.
share. you
That's
had
actually
earlier.
like
let,
some
let the
Mate.
experts do their thing, and you
Priceless
bring your
advice,
skill
right?
set.
Yeah.
Bring your skill set to the. We bring
Our
the
skill
marketing
set-
machine, and they bring the cuisine and the floor staff and,
Yeah.
and the running of their restaurant and everything. And
We've got the IP. We've got the audience. We know
Yes.
our brand. They've got the back end. They know how to run it operationally. We've come together. We've got Steve as well, who's the guy I initially told you. We revamped it together. Like the idea. When
Oh,
you said
yeah,
about
yeah,
the
yeah.
sports
Oh,
bar,
okay, yeah.
He is the CEO. He's the one who
Oh,
puts
really?
everything together. He's the glue. He does all the P&Ls. He does all the forecasting.
It's amazing stuff.
And he brings us all together. He brings our brand together. He brings their brand together. He keeps us glued together. It's a magical and there's 6 of us, and we know where we're going. We know where we want to go. We know we want to go to the top. We know we're now extending up. We bought the building together. We're going upstairs. We're doubling the seats. We've got something else in the pipeline.
So we're going interstate.
There's talk about interstate.
You know what I mean? Like, I feel like, you know, we all know we're all Melbourneites here, so we know Melbourne's the place to be. But the people from overseas tend to stop at Sydney first. You know, you guys would be
There's talk
massive.
about interstate. There's also something else cooking that I literally can't say. No. That's the one thing I'm not allowed to say, right?
No, you can't say that yet. No.
But the group, the 6 of us,
Juicy PK.
the 6 of us are cooking up something else.
Yep.
The group.
Pardon the pun.
Yeah, and it's great. Yeah, just like you said, yeah, definitely partner with people that know what they're doing and they're the best in their field, and don't be afraid to dilute your share.
I think that's great advice,
You
because
know.
all you do try and keep on. You're trying to keep these shares, and they're not really worth
mate,
anything if you haven't
100%
got the
of
expertise.
And
$10
we know-
bucks
and we-
is shit, but 100%.
$10.
You know, it's $10. 30% of 300 million is
It's
you
a
know,
good deal.
Lots of millions.
lots of millions.
But we also knew Johnny and Danny for a while as well, so we knew pretty much who we were getting into business with as well. And
Boys, this has been an awesome chat. And
sorry, man, it's
and
gone for 12 hours. This
yeah,
year.
man,
yeah,
this
it's
is
been
so good.
it's a record,
I think it's
but
our record.
but
I was like, you kept asking questions. I'm like, when is it?
I've got more
Starving
too,
here, I
fellas.
wanna
More.
eat, man. Get me off this thing. But we're rivaling. We've talked about Joe Rogan before, so here we are. We've got a 14.5 hour
Yeah, I know.
podcast.
We were
I was
complaining
thinking
about
that
it.
before.
You
Andrew
were
was
fucking
saying, yeah.
complaining.
I was going, they're great, but they're too
That
fucking
Adam
long.
Sandler one. Fuck me.
part of the problem. But yeah, well done,
Anyway, I
boys.
just
Well
wanna
done.
say quickly,
Yeah.
when I was 7,
Nah, boys, congratulations. You've gone on an awesome journey. We can't wait to keep seeing it roll out, and we need to get down to the restaurant.
go-
we need to
yeah.
get the team down to the
We'll
restaurant.
take the team. Yeah, we'll take
Is
the
it
team.
how long in advance can we book?
we know a guy.
Your months. Oh yeah, true. Yeah, true. we know guys. But no, well done, boys, and you're making people laugh everywhere, and love how humble and how authentic and down to earth you boys are. So well
Thanks,
done.
guys.
Thanks for having us.
You guys
for
are
having
legends,
us.
man.
Yeah,
Congratulations on your success.
Yeah.
And
Well, we are the number
look,
one podcast.
you know what? Like, other number one podcast, and also,
Keep saying
I'm
that.
pretty sure check
You
your
believe it?
14
check your
times.
bloodline. Because I'm pretty sure that people who develop as many properties as you guys are wogs.
We could be wogs.
Check
I
your
grew up
bloodline.
in Coburg. My
Ancestry.
parents grew up in Coburg.
What's your
My
last name?
grandparents, Kelly.
Calino,
Calliopolis. That's it.
Pedro Calliopius.
Petro Calliopoulos.
You've heard it first. Thanks,
Thanks,
lads.
mate. Thanks,
Good on
mate.
you. Good on
Thank
you.
you.
Thanks, please. Like, share, subscribe. See you at the top.
People want to be part of a winning team. People can find a better version of themselves if they choose.
You just need to go start some shit. Action is all that matters.
Be a man of your word.
I think I look back now and I'm like, whoa, that took some guts.
Be kind, be kind, be kind.
See you at the top.